Hello, Miss Dorsey. Didn't know the accent was coming out. When I first said it in my head, I felt like it was about to be real New York, like, hello, Miss Dorsey. But it didn't. It came out more Dorsey, like fucking Harry Potter or something. So, hi. Welcome to your past life reading. Insert glitter around me. So, what are we doing today? We are getting into why you, Tierras. I just read the what is the word? I just read your name pronunciated out to me as you written to me by email per my request. And I'm like, I can kill this. It was way easier when you broke it down. So Tierras. So with that being said, we can find out why you're still here. What happened during your first time on Earth that made you say, I need to come back again? And then every time after that, you came back to fix the same thing. So how are we going to be doing this, right? I am using my human radio receiver because we are all made up of protons, neutrons, molecules, atoms, and we have been recycling into different 3D holograms over the course of hundreds of thousands of years. It is because of this that we are able to put out a frequency, but also take in a frequency. This works the same way as when somebody is lying to you and you feel like this, like, I know you lying. I don't have evidence, but I know. And that's because you picked up, your receiver picked up the vibration of the lie. I am going to be picking up the vibration of your life. It is going to stream through me like Netflix. So I'm going to get started by tapping in to the Akashic Records with my favorite deck, the Akashic Tarot, because it's like my library card. And if you get this deck, it'll be your library card too. So I am entering the Akashic Records on the behalf of T.S. Dorsey. All right. My mind just made your big blue. Your big blue. Your book blue. Just in case you needed to know that it's blue. So now, let me start my spread down here. You can't see it, but I can. So that counts. What occurred during the first incarnation here? What are the details from this first Earth past life? This is always fun. All right, first and foremost, you came here with a squad or to be a part of a group of people, which makes sense, you know. Back in the beginning, we were very community oriented. Now our community is the internet. So, you were here to bring balance. You were here to hang out with people. Chances are this means that you would have some Aquarius placements in your chart now. So, let me show you the cards. You're hanging out with these group of people, preparing meals together, building houses, because y'all were all just getting skills together. Like, you're born, and then the next thing you know, you're like, all right, so how do we build somewhere so it won't rain on us? And then everybody got together like, we should cut down the trees. Because you were bringing things into balance. Bringing two worlds together. This is modernization that you came to do here. But like not that modern. This is, I just mentioned the fact that houses were not a thing here. And y'all were trying to figure out how to not. Y'all didn't even know that pneumonia would happen if it rained on you. So this is very, very early. What's also backing that up? The last card on the day. Look, y'all looking around. Foraging is the word that popped into my head. Just trying to figure out what life was. And then at the bottom, the garden. So this could go back to uh, the Garden of Eden. Now, what just popped in my head was the movie Year One with Jack Black. If you haven't seen it, please do. But it shows that the first society was growing somewhere while the story of Adam and Eve was beginning over here. So you only saw that Adam and Eve were just over here doing this shit, right? But somewhere else, they were already doing this, trying to figure out, like, how do we survive? So you were here at the beginning, first and foremost. You've been here since. That's how old I felt. That's how long you've been here. Moses popped in my head on top of the mountain. You were down there partying in the fucking desert when Moses came down that mountain, baby. You were among the people. You was for the people. So let me pull from the past life deck to see what else we can get from this life. I love your energy. Like it's like you were lit. You were with the group. This is very gang. What we doing? How we surviving? Y'all ain't even know what dying was, but y'all didn't like being hungry. Then food and hunger is the first card in the bottom of the deck before I even start shuffling. So let's see. May I have more details from this life where you were a part of a community? Y'all was just trying to survive. This really does feel like even a caveman can do it. I don't know if you remember them commercials, but yes, no. This is back here with Lucy. Like, what is a tree? What is fire? What is all that? You was in the trenches. Then look. Galactic. Because remember, I said the two worlds card popped up. You were branching your spiritual consciousness with your time here on Earth. Because I even need to pull this up so you can see this is a bitch thinking like, hey, how does shit work? And right here, galactic. So your first incarnation, you came straight up out the stars to help these humans with food and hunger. Yes, it popped up again. It was the next card, and I shuffled. You watched if you the boobs didn't distract you. I'm in this chair, and my knees is up to my chest, and it's making my titties go all Jill Scott. So you came as a volunteer. Virgo placements. Sixth house planets. Also, by the way, you came for food and hunger. This was up here twice, trying to figure out how to evolve humanity. This is what you took vows to do. Excuse my loud ass neighbors. This is what you took vows to do. And this is why you were still here. You wanted to create something sustaining for these people. So, knowing that you have been here this long, how do you feel about these humans? How do you feel about your contributions to society? So, let's see what characteristics you were exhibiting as a human. What type of person was Tiaris in this life? What type of person? And as an angelic volunteer, I'm going to guess you were very giving and bright and stuff, but let's see what comes up here. Well, that's different. So, whatever. I'm going with it's the truth. Not everything's pretty. Vampire came up first. This is because you didn't have shit. You were in a community of people who was trying to forage for supplies. So this vampire means you was about the shits. Uh Canaan popped up in my head. But wasn't that around Adam and Eve time, like their first kid? Canaan, hold on, the son Cain ran off to another city. Where the fuck would he have ran off to if Adam and Eve were the only people here? No, he went to a city where people already were. And that's where you were. Y'all were just amongst each other like cave people. Like, I don't want to say barbarians, but imagine the beginning of life. Niggas fighting over, sorry, I said niggas fighting over berries, trees. Like y'all slap each other if somebody, it's very Three Stooges is the energy I'm getting here with your caveman life. So this is so good because look what the next card is. Hedonist. I just said y'all are all here with what? What is that? Is that berries in her mouth? I cannot make this shit up. Y'all were just out here laying around naked, not afraid because y'all didn't know what to be afraid of. But y'all was outside looking for food, trying not to beat up each other, and then also because it popped up twice, I am disgusted. Try to fuck something. You see this Don Juan was right next to the lover. So you were down to your your most basic self. This feels like you were a dude. And it was probably better that you were a dude because you might have got the other end of that Don Juan energy that was happening when all the little I want to say Planet of the Apes. We are mixed. As a matter of fact, this just inspired me. I'm going to make a post on the way that we were seated as races because one of our main races was seated with that of primate. That's where the whole Planet of the Apes thing came from. When Adam and Eve were made, they were made from like Lucy and her DNA and stuff. So with that being said, you took on some of the traits when you first got into these new human bodies, like throwing shit at each other. Like if you see a fat ass, you're like, hey, what's that? And then you just hop on it instinctively because you were in this is your first life as a human. You were like, what is this? So that whole angel thing was definitely just a memory of the past. Once you got into a monkey human, and you saw another monkey human's ass. So I don't know where this shit comes from in my head. See, it's the channels. I'm gonna blame it on that. This came through for you, baby. You needed that message. So let's see how this life ended for you. And then we're going to get into what was the remaining shadow pattern. What is the thing keeping you here? I would have guessed it was probably the people that you was fighting and throwing shit and eating berries with. So how did this life end? How did this life come to an end? That's my drum roll. Well, that's unfortunate, but it makes sense. This says skin disease. I am sensing fungal. Like you stepped on something and got a wound that, like, because I was trying to sense and I'm like, nah, the whole storyline that went by me was you stepping on something because you weren't wearing shoes, but it got dirty and infected, and all you knew was it started itching, and you didn't even know what itching was. You would just be like, and like slap it all day until that's the thing that took you out. I'm trying to think of what would be recurring thoughts that came because of that. You might be OCD, really particular about dirty places because of that. So let's see. What is the remaining wound or shadow pattern that you've been keeping coming back here trying to fix? From what I'm sensing here, you just really like the human experience. You like being in a body. You like growing. So that's Sagittarius placements or ninth house. You like the wisdom through experience, the way you die and all those things, the downfall and all that stuff, the negative, that doesn't really phase your soul. Your soul is like, but did you die? So what is the remaining shadow pattern from this life? What do you keep trying to solve? You see that knight in shining armor? It says sacrifice at the bottom, but you know what I feel? I felt, nah, 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 nah. And that meant that you are a no limit soldier of God. My mind can only pull up what's already in my Rolodex in some cases. The things that come from outside of it are like amazing Einstein type ideas, but the stuff that comes from inside me, trying to get me to understand what this message was, you're dedicated. Every time you jump out of here, you're like Scrappy Doo, put me back in the game, coach. I'm here to help these people. You are dedicated to your mission. And then also, this is a penchant to dream. You like to dream. You like the idea of the opportunities. You like being in this dream. You like being different characters. This is the first time I've ever seen this. You are here because you want to be here. Because you don't want to get out the game. There's not even a particular thing you're trying to win. You really want to be of service. You really want to help these people. And keep in mind, this is your soul. If your human is like, your higher self does not feel that way at all. So now I'm going to see what energy you need to embrace in order for your soul to feel like maybe I will go home and stay for a while, so you can get out of these reincarnation cycles. So what does Tierras need to embrace? Enoughness. No, that's not a word. But feeling like what you did during your time here was good enough for you to go home. Every other time you're like, I could do a little bit more. You want a higher score. Balance. And then man holding the coin, rest and rejuvenation. You keep trying to achieve so much, but you are being asked to find the balance between this masculine energy, because I said you were a dude, and that's probably still very deeply in there. At first, masculine energy and rest and relaxation. That's Capricorn energy in the middle here. This man holding the coin. This is you um, achieving your goals. And the goal is legacy so that you can finally rest, because what your soul wants now is a happy family. You want the money. You want to have contributed something, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be famous. You want something that makes a difference to people so that you can rest and enjoy your family. And it's actually at this point, your soul is becoming a little bit heartbroken, jaded, because you've tried so many times. And it's a feeling of, I didn't do it yet. I didn't accomplish it yet. I didn't do it big enough yet. But you've done enough incarnations that you dropped water in the puddle every time, so that without the contributions that you have made, some things wouldn't have happened here. So it wasn't possible with one chapter for you to make a big difference like you want to, but you have been adding every life since the beginning. You have already accomplished what you want to. You just have to feel it within yourself. 2:11 on the clock. So what needs to be embraced for self-care? What needs to be embraced to integrate this woman to move forward? Trusting your intuition. Intuition over ego, because the ego makes you feel like you haven't accomplished anything every time. Sound healing, because listening to different frequencies, and you can do this on YouTube, reset your chakras. A lot of the leftover stuff you have from all the lives you lived is still in your chakras, and that needs to be cleared so that you can even better hear your own intuition. And then last but not least, ground yourself. This is you getting out into nature. All of this is about you reconnecting to your center. Like, what am I feeling? Get into your body and get your head out of the clouds, girl. That was the worst Sebastian ever. But that's what it feels like. You dream about what you want to do, and something holds you back from doing it. What is that something that holds you back? The feeling that no matter how hard you try, you're not going to accomplish it. Something's going to happen. You're going to die. You're not going to get there. Just all these negative thoughts in your head because you have lived thousands of years, hundreds of incarnations. And there is sadness, leftover residual sadness. Because you come in here and you get wiped, and every life you get in here, you get very deep into your character and you don't remember how much you've contributed. So I am requesting on your behalf that your guides send you some sort of sign that you cannot miss, that lets you know about something that you have already contributed to humanity, so that you can start to see your value. Because that's what this is about, you seeing your value. And I was trying to see, I was feeling if anything was coming through. I am getting a special thing for you. So what has she contributed thus far? Your soul wants to know, or needs you to know, so you can start looking it up. What has she contributed to humanity already? What is the thing that she has contributed to humanity already that she is not recognizing? I can't close out until your book closes in my head. It's like hocus pocus. Engineer. There's something with technology. And it says Midas at the other end. So you have created Midas. You have created something that has to do with the internet, something with technology, something that did move them ahead of time, move them up in time. I'm feeling math and algebra. Something that has to do with mathematics and science. Something that gave them a formula that allowed them to create other inventions is what you have contributed. My head is seeing cars, but it's a mathematic formula, something about like the way the wheels work, the way they have to be set up. This is very like you were still with another group of people, like every time trying to make it better here. But you had something to do with it. What is, look, there's one of them words that channel from outside of me. Ergonomics. I can't even look at my phone because it's up there. But something that with the way that cars work, that they now use for the way planes work also. It's a formula that helps things get into motion. So look into that, or let me know if that rings any bells. But you have contributed something that was very important, that humanity would not still be working the way it does now without that small drop that you included in the team that you were in. So thank you so much for your patience. I hope you enjoyed.